Now that we've had a bit of a practice with our warm-up, we're pretty much ready to start our lesson. So today we're recapping on measuring angles. So last time we started looking at the different types of angles and so on. By the end of today, you are going to be able to use a protractor to measure acute, which you all know what look like, right, which we all know what that looks like, and obtuse angles in degrees. A lot of you might have seen that symbol quite often, and that is our little symbol to show that we're talking about degrees today. I love the way George is listening. Okay? Now, in order to know if you've had a successful lesson, this is a little bit of a sneak preview. Okay? By the end of the lesson, you'll most probably be able to use your protractor to measure this kind of angle and identify, yep, that's an acute angle, measure the angle arms, and you'll be able to tell me that that was 75 degrees. It doesn't mean that just because it's going the other direction, it's not an acute angle. It could still be an acute angle this way or this way. It doesn't matter. You can still measure that type of acute angle and tell me, yep, that's 30 degrees, because I know because I use my protractor properly. And then, basically, we looked at those kind of angles, and we also talked about a full turn. We know that when, in our everyday language, they always say, oh, can you do a 360 turn? Then people always got this. They do a 360 turn. When you go to skate parks and so on, and people do 360 turns and so on, you see it happening quite often. So we know that a full turn is 360 degrees. Okay? We know that a full turn is 360 degrees of a circle. And we talked about how halfway, which is a straight line right down ahead, is 180 degrees. We know that. And we also know that because half of 360, is 180. So we know that that's exactly straight halfway through. We also talked about how a quarter of 360 is 90 degrees. Sorry. So that's 180 right down. And then we also talked about here, it would be an exactly 90 degrees angle because it's a quarter turn. So 360 degrees, we do a full turn, 90 degrees, quarter turn, and then 180 a half turn. What I've done is I've pretty much summarised the 4 steps that are needed for you to use your protractor successfully. And that will help you to achieve today's success criteria, or you will for today. So if you remember and follow these 4 steps, I can guarantee you will be able to use a protractor precisely and properly. Okay, sometimes because you're working with single lines and so on, sometimes you can go a bit off and so on, but if you follow these lines, you will definitely be able to stick right to the angles, and you'll be able to tell me the exact degrees. So when you go to mark with your partner, there won't be a lot of degrees difference, because you guys will be like perfectionists when it comes to measuring these angles. Okay? Now, the first one is find the bottom line of the angle. Okay, so I'm obviously talking about, if my angle is here, I obviously know that's an acute angle because that's less than 90 degrees. Find the bottom line angle. So obviously Mrs. Lee is talking about something here, or bottom angle. If it was going this way, you'll find the other bottom line. You just find the bottom line.
Find the bottom line of the angle.
Find the bottom line of the angle. Is this my bottom line? It could be, but for this one, do you want to make it this one so it's easier, so you don't have to shift your page? Okay. What do I do next? Gossie?
Align the bottom angle on 0 degrees.
Okay, are you happy with that?
No.
Is it on 0?
Yeah. A little bit up.
A little bit up. Like that? Happy with that?
Yeah, okay.
Cool. Okay. Now, what's my third step? Caitlin,
Match the center point inside the arc with the angle corner.
has that been done? Is my angle corner meeting the center point? Beautiful. Am I ready to measure now? Okay. Next step is what, Chloe Allen? Number 4?
Choose the correct scale and measure the other angle.
Okay. Can you all on your whiteboards tell me what type of angle this is? Write down. Do you think it's an acute? Do you think it's an obtuse? So write it down. And then I want you to think about, if you think it's an acute, or if you think it's an obtuse, that's up to you. I want you to think about, if you think it's an acute and you know that acute angles are less than 90 degrees, I want you to think about which scale you're going to choose to write down the degrees, or which scale you're going to choose if you think it's a different type of angle. Once you've written that down, can you please write down the type of angle and the degrees for me? Please put the degree sign as well. Do you need a whiteboard marker? Catch. Good catch. All right, get ready to show me. 3, 2, 1, chin up. What type of angle is it? What type of angle is it, Georgia? Acute angle. So that means it's less than what degrees?
90.
Good girl, fantastic. Can you please tell me what degrees my angle is? 140? You just told me that its acute angles are less than 90 degrees. So you've got a possibility of 40 degrees, and you've got a possibility of 140 degrees. Which scale would you go for if you think it's less than 90 degrees?
40.
Why? Why would you go for 40?
Because it can't be 140 because it has to be less than 90, so it has to be.
Spot on. It has to be less than 90 degrees because you told me this is an acute angle, so it has to be less than 90, and 140 is more than 90, isn't it? It's greater than 90. Spot on. Well done. Have another crack at this one. If I've got this. Okay. What's my first step, Hayden? Read it to me. 3, 2, 1. Chin up. What type of angle is this, Patience?
It's an
Obtuse angle, because it's what? Greater than?
It's greater than 90 degrees, but less than 180.
You're fantastic. Excellent. Did you write down, did you choose the inside scale or the outside scale to use?
I chose the inside
Why?
because it's more than 90 degrees, but it hasn't passed 180 degrees, so it's not inverse.
Excellent. Fantastic. Get ready to read on a faster note the 4 steps again for me. Ready, go.
Find the bottom line of the angle.
2,
Align the bottom angle arc with 0 degrees.
3,
Match the center point inside the arc with the angle corner.
4.
Choose the correct scale and measure other angle arms.
Put your thumbs up if you feel quite confident with that and you're ready to have a go on your own. Thumbs down if you're struggling a little bit.